December 15th is just around the corner. We're 5 days away, and we're starting to feel that December 15th is when a lot of players become eligible to be traded. So right now we're hearing a lot of trade rumors. I've heard Saddiq Bey's name, I heard Bojan's name, I heard Nerlens Noel, and we're just trying to see, today we're going to see like what's real, what's fake. So first player we're going to talk about is Nerlens Noel. To be honest, he hasn't been very good for the Pistons since he's been here. He's been injured, and then when he actually did play, he hasn't been very good. We've only seen really Duran and Marvin Bagley at that center position. And Nerlens Noel, despite being healthy, he has been on the bench. Let's see. And it's being reported that the Dallas Mavericks and Detroit Pistons touched base recently with trade talks, and Nerlens Noel, his name came up. And this is per Ian Begley. Now, I give him a lot of weight because when I went to research this reporter, he actually talked about the Pistons wanting Kevin Knox. And listen, I don't recall any reporters ever saying anything about Kevin Knox coming to the Pistons, and this guy was ahead of the curve. He was reporting the Pistons wanted Kevin Knox way before we signed him in free agency. So Kevin Knox was a target of Troy Weaver long before that. And this reporter, Ian Begley, I think that's his name is, that's who said that. And he's also talking about the Pistons wanting Nerlens Noel. So he has some Pistons sources. So I think this trade is possibly going to happen on the 15th once everyone is eligible to be traded. As for who the Pistons will get, that is interesting. Let me go to reaction time here. Let me pull up the trade machine. One trade I liked was Norman Powell. The Pistons get Norman Powell. Alright, so as you can see, we got the Pistons and Mavericks here, both teams in this trade. Nerlens Noel makes $9 million. And I said Norman Powell, he makes $11 million, and then the Pistons would have to add $2 million. So the only person who could match salaries is Isaiah Livers or Rodney McGruder. I doubt we're giving up on Isaiah Livers this early. He's part of the, I personally am not giving up on Isaiah Livers this early. So I doubt Troy Weaver would trade one of his draft picks this early. So since he already traded Rodney McGruder before, I think he's probably going to do it again if that's the route we're going. And plus, the Mavericks, they would need someone like Rodney McGruder. Right now, they really don't have that veteran guy who can come off the bench and be consistent, because they got Reggie Bullock. They have Tim Hardaway Jr., but those guys have not been consistent this season. They've been playing better recently, but they haven't been consistent. And Rodney McGruder, he is consistent, so that would be a nice pickup for the Mavericks. They will also get Nerlens Noel. But anyway, I just feel like this is probably going to be it. And as you can see, the trade is successful. I don't think the Mavericks have like any picks we would want, and I still think they're going to make the playoffs. So I don't even know if the pick from them would be that valuable. But yeah, Norman Powell for Nerlens Noel. The Pistons get another backup center. I like this trade. Let's see, but that's probably the only one I can see. Let's see, that's $11 million. I can't think of anyone else the Mavericks would trade. I know Kleber is, but like Kleber is on a 4-year deal, while as Norman Powell is on a 1-year deal. Now that is something we need to keep an eye on, is the deals. Norman Powell is only on a 1-year deal. He's going to expire. Same with Nerlens Noel. Oh, Nerlens Noel is actually on a 2-year deal. So yeah, you get Norman Powell, and he only has to play for this season. That's it, and then he's a free agent. So I think that's the deal. Norman Powell comes to the Pistons. The Mavericks get Nerlens Noel and Rodney McGruder, and that's that. So I really think this trade could happen. Right. This next rumor comes from Jake Fisker, and that's where the next 2 rumors are coming from. And honestly, he is not a reliable source. He's one of the worst sources in the NBA. He just says things, and he hopes they stick, basically. But he's saying the Pistons are taking calls on Saddiq Bey, which makes sense. Every team in the NBA is constantly calling the Pistons over certain players. And then Saddiq Bey got benched, so I'm sure a lot of teams started calling the Pistons to see if Saddiq Bey was available, because, you know, he scored 50 points last year. If you lost to the Pistons, you probably lost on a Saddiq Bey dagger. All right, he was clutch all last season. Teams remember that, and now they see him on the bench. They're like, whoa, why is that guy on the bench? We'll take him. I know a lot of teams would love Saddiq Bey on the roster. So that's the only reason that this report has weight, but it's from an unreliable source. So of course teams are calling about Saddiq Bey. The Pistons aren't calling teams looking to trade Bey. They're just, you know, doing their due diligence, answering the phone, making sure they can get some sort of trade off. Because I'm sure the Dallas Mavericks called about Saddiq Bey, and they were like, nah, but you can have Nerlens Noel. and that's kind of where we're at. But yeah, you don't trade a guy averaging 15 points a game. You just don't. And he's 23 years old. Scored 51 points for us last season. The only reason Saddiq Bey is on the bench right now is because Bojan is cooking. If Bojan wasn't cooking, Saddiq Bey will be a starter and probably doing well. He does not thrive in that 4th option. Last game, like one game, he's taking a bunch of shots and he's the guy. Dropped 25 points. And then last game, he took 2 shots. He took 2 shots for most of the game. In the 4th quarter, he took a ton of shots, and they were just bad at that point. I mean, the game was over. We don't need you taking that many shots anymore. So that's where we're at with Saddiq Bey. I don't think he's getting traded at all. So yeah. And then this last rumor for the Pistons side is also from Jake Fisker. However you say his name, I really don't care. Saying Bojan to the Lakers. Yes, the Lakers want every player in the league, especially ones that are playing very well. We've seen the same thing with Jeremy Grant. The Lakers wanted him, but they don't have anything worth trading for. So LA doesn't have the things necessary to get Bojan. At this point, the Pistons either will be getting 2 first-round picks for him, or 1 draft pick and a young player. That's what you need to get for Bojan. Bojan is on a 2-year deal, so his value is very high. All right, he's playing well on a 2-year deal. If you trade for him, you get him for 2 years. 2 years. You get him for half a season, and then this season. And then next season. So if you're looking to get Bojan, you got to come with 2 first-round picks or a first-round pick and a young player. So definitely the Lakers do not have that. So take them out of the Bojan race. I'm sure you'll hear more Bojan rumors as the season progresses. But as of right now, it's not happening. It's not happening. Especially not with the Lakers. But I think he gets traded closer to the deadline. While as Nerlens Noel, I think he gets traded like as soon as December 15th hits, because he's not even playing. I feel like Norman Powell would definitely get minutes with the Pistons, because he can. Let me look up his stats, bruh. I feel like Norman Powell's stats. Oh, let's see. What are your stats, my guy? Wrong, Powell. What's his name? Are there 2 Norman Powells? Dwight Powell. That's what his name is. I've been calling this man Norman Powell for the entire video, bruh. Wow. I've been calling this man Norman Powell the entire video, bruh. The entire video. He's averaging 6 points. Where's the rest of the reading? I don't care about the points. Oh, man, he does not rebound the ball. Good lord, man. Bruh. Hold on, let me pull up reaction time so y'all can see this. This man does not rebound the ball, bruh. He does not rebound. How tall are you? You 6'10" for no reason, my boy. 3 rebounds a game? You big for no reason, my boy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Norman Powell. Okay, I can see why. I can see why Mavericks fans went up out of here. But he's on an expiring contract, so like I don't care. Like, if you got to be the backup center, that is totally okay with me. You know, he's not an elite defender by any of the stretch of the imagination. He's okay defensively. Maybe we could turn his career around here, but these numbers aren't very good. He doesn't shoot threes or anything like that. Terrible free throw shooter. But you would trade him for Rodney Magruder and Nerlens Noel, basically. So neither one of those guys are playing very much, but it like sucks because I like Rodney Magruder as a veteran on this team. But Troy Weaver sees him as salary filler for any trade, so it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Maybe we get a pick out of this. I don't know if the Dallas Mavericks have any picks. Let me see. Okay, so basically that trade with Nerlens Noel would be a salary dump. Any trade with Bojan would try to get picks and young players. Any trade for Bojan, you're trying to get talent. Any trade for Nerlens Noel is for salary. All right, you want cap flexibility for these off seasons. We're gonna have to start paying these young players. Saddiq Bey's got to get paid. Isaiah Stewart's got to get paid. Killian Hayes has got to get paid. Then the year after that, Cade has to get paid. Livers has to get paid. And then the year after that, you got to pay Ivy and Duran. So you got to keep that all in mind. We have to keep cap flexibility. All right. If you want to keep all these guys, you got to keep the cap flexible. That means guys got to get traded. As far as trade targets, I'm hearing the Pistons are interested in John Collins and Kyle Kuzma. To be honest, we don't need John Collins anymore. I remember last season I made a video about John Collins, but we don't need him any longer since we have Marvin Bagley and Isaiah Stewart. They're both playing very well. And Jalen Duren. Like, you can't have Jalen Duren and John Collins on the floor at the same time. John Collins hasn't been hitting his threes. It would be a Josh Smith situation all over again, where you have a guy who's, yes, he's a highlight reel, but he can't shoot. He's been a terrible three-point shooter this season, so I doubt we go after John Collins, especially when we have Marvin Bagley and Isaiah Stewart already who are playing good. I can see the Pistons going after Kyle Kuzma. He could play small forward for us. But, like, it's still a stretch. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not really sold on getting Kyle Kuzma just yet. He's a very good player. I wanted him when the Pistons needed a power forward, but, like, Stewart's playing really well, and I want to see where that goes, especially defensively. I feel like you can get Kyle Kuzma maybe in free agency in a few years. But, like, I wouldn't be mad if we went out and got Kuzma. He could play small forward while Stu plays power forward, and then you got Duren at the 5, and you have that big lineup. But, like, there's a couple guys in this draft who you could go out and play small forward if that's what we're looking for. And then you got Killian Hayes, Cade, Ivy is still a possibility. That's still on the table. So the Pistons have a lot of options with lineups. They have a lot of options. They just need to get talent at this point. So that's why big moves like getting Kyle Kuzma, I feel like that's a big move to try and compete. I really don't see that us doing that right now. I just don't see us making that big trade right now. I think that comes later. Maybe next season we make that big trade for a guy. But as of right now, I just don't see it. I just don't see us doing that. So yeah, look for us to do a lot of small trades to get as many picks as possible, and to help us out with cap flexibility, so we have enough cap space to keep our young players. Nerlens Noel is probably gone. Bojan, I'm thinking, is gone at the trade deadline. Wouldn't be surprised about it, because you can't take a risk of him like getting injured or his production falling off when his value is this high. His value is very high, so you gotta trade him now. We waited way too long to trade Jeremy Grant, and yes, we did get Jalen Duren, but still his trade value was like super low. It was way higher than we thought. I mean, way lower than we thought. And I think that's the only player really. There are only two players. Yeah. I don't think Alec Burks gets traded. I know he makes $10 million. I just don't see us trading him. He's one of the vets like Troy Weaver really was raving about. And if you trade away Bojan and Nerlens Noel, you still need some veterans in that locker room. So Alec Burks is a cool guy, and he's putting up like exactly what we need. He's coming in and knocking down shots and playing good defense. That's exactly what you need off the bench. I'd be cool with Alec Burks staying here for the long haul until we get good. I'm totally cool with that. He comes in, he does his job. I'm totally cool with Alec Burks. Kevin Knox, I could see a couple of teams asking about him after his resurgence. So yeah, we might get something for Kevin Knox. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. Let me know in the comments below who you guys want to see traded, who you guys want on the Pistons, any young players that you're looking at, anybody with draft picks that you're like, oh, we should go and get those from them, because Bojan is gonna get us a lot of those. So where should we ship these guys out to bring in more talent so the Pistons can get that fourth trophy? Yeah, we're trying to plot here. Alright guys, also remember to hit that like button and subscribe to see more Pistons content, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.